Mayor Walsh recently introduced an upgrade to the city's connection for constituent services. We used to know it as Boston Connects or maybe as the Mayor's Hotline. The new version has been simplified to 311, but there's also more tailoring to needs for service and new ways for tracking the city's response. To bring us up to date is the director of the Mayor's Hotline, Niall Murphy. Thank you very much for being with us now.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate you having me here today.
First of all, talk about what into the making of this, because you're doing sort of the same thing you've been doing before, but you're doing it in a different way.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same channels of communication, but we've upgraded a lot of our technology. We've added some redundancy to it now with a stronger back end so that the technology doesn't fail on us. And we're creating a more seamless experience for residents to get in touch with us. In the past, we've had different channels of communication with different names. We had the Mayor's Hotline, we had Citizens Connect app, we had the self-service on the website. Now it's coming under one umbrella for residents to get in touch with us, 311. We're trying to increase civic engagement in the city. We want residents to get in touch with us. We want them to be our eyes and ears out in the neighborhood. So we have the 311 number now within the city limits that you can call. The 635-4500 number will still remain. That's for people outside of the city, and even if you're in the city, you can still use that number. We have a Boss 311 app, and you can download that with the Android and iPhone phone for free from the App Store. And then our Twitter handle, we've created a new Twitter handle, @Boss311, that people can tweet service requests at us.
Well, go back to when the city decided to adopt this program, because it has been adopted in other cities. What have you learned from that?
You know, we've learned a lot of things from it off the bat in the first week. We've only launched last Tuesday, so we're still learning. But the biggest thing is getting out to residents and educating them on it, that 311 is for basic city services. It's for non-emergency phone calls. 911 is still for emergency phone calls. We've also learned that we need to get the word out there into the neighborhoods. Certain neighborhoods don't utilize our services as much as other neighborhoods like Beacon Hill and Back Bay. So we're going to target into neighborhoods like Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan, Hyde Park to get them to start downloading our app, to start using our services and really get in touch with us and engage with the city.
So don't be intimidated by downloading apps and menus. It's as simple, if you just have a phone, even a landline, it'll work.
Absolutely, yeah. It'll get connected to the closest tower in the city from a cell phone or for a landline when you dial 311. And when you use the app has many options. We just added 10 new options to it now, so that you can streamline services right to the department when you're putting in a request, and you can add a picture so it gives us an idea of what we're responding to when the appropriate department gets out there.
All cities do constituent services, but what is there that we can learn from the cities that have already switched to 311? How does that make a difference?
Yeah, we've had some conversations with other cities around the country and even in Canada too that have switched. They've definitely seen an uptick in call volume and caseload too. So that's something for departments to be prepared for, and our departments in the city are definitely prepared to respond to this uptick in caseloads. But it's just about giving accessibility to constituents and residents in the city. That's the main purpose of this. That's what Mayor Walsh strives to do and everything, and he wants us to get in touch with the residents, and he wants the residents to get in touch with us and be engaged with the city.
Now, one of the things that's going on here is that for people who do use the mobile phones, there's a change in what they're going to be presented with, especially for categories of things that they need service for.
Absolutely, yeah. We've broken it down to different categories, and we try to get away from just breaking it down as a department. We wanted to put it as streets, as parks, as parking. Before, we never even had any options on the app for parks. Now you have 3 options on there for parks to send cases in and send it directly to the parks department. The app's changed to Boss 311. Like I said, we wanted to rebrand everything, bring it under one umbrella, so creating a more seamless experience for residents. And when we send these cases in and they go straight to the departments, with the picture, it's easier for departments to respond.
Now, what about the other way around, keeping track of what the city's doing, especially if you're the person who's already filed a report? Yeah. How has that changed?
So we have one centralized database. It's called Login. It's our CRM system that every service request comes through, whether you're submitting it through the app, whether you're submitting it by phone, whether you're contacting us on Twitter. We also have a web chat application through the city's website. You can get on and chat with one of my agents live in the office, and they do a great job of responding to constituents. So everything comes through this one centralized database, and that way that we can track all of the data. We can track when cases are being closed, if they're being closed in the appropriate service level agreement that we've set up to give constituents these realistic expectations of when their cases are going to be closed. So it's very good for reporting. We have a monthly basic city service meeting that we conduct with all of these departments, and we make sure that they're meeting their standards and meeting the constituents' satisfaction.
Now talk about it, because when I use this, I'm thinking of the pile of trash in the park or the missing crosswalk. But when you get this in the aggregate, what happens? What do people see in City Hall?
Well, when people see it, it comes through in some cases as an email if they're not in our login system. But Parks, BTD, Public Works, Inspectional Services, they all are on this system. When they receive it, they get it in a queue. So they have people monitoring their queue in their login system, and they can dispatch it out to the workers out on the street. Also, workers out on the street have these tablets. Some of the supervisors do. They're called City Worker. So they can see the cases out when they're on the street in City Worker, and they can tell the appropriate people to respond.
There must be some interesting patterns too. And it makes it easier for people to organize instead of just looking at each case individually.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing, when you're out in the streets is probably potholes right now. We get a lot of missed trash pickups too. That's a big one, and then requests for street cleaning. I mean, a lot of people out walking the streets now, and then parks too, park improvement requests and maintenance.
You mentioned potholes. There was this problem with some discrepancies under the old system. Does the new system make that less likely?
It's similar to the old system, but the reporting aspect of it is similar, so there shouldn't be any discrepancies going forward with case closures. With the City Worker app, and we're getting more of those tablets out to the people on the streets so that they can be proactive about reporting cases and closing them out too. They can take a picture, they can send it out to their appropriate people, and then close it out also. And then with the City Worker app, when they close a case out, they can take a picture of the pothole that has been filled, that the constituent reported, so the constituent can see that it's been closed and not just receive the case closure notice.
Well, aside from service on demand, I think what people also are looking for in a 311 system is a change in civic engagement. That's a lofty term, but what does that mean exactly? What do you think that means?
Well, civic engagement means just getting residents to be in touch with the city. We want them asking questions. We want them reporting cases to us. We want them to be involved, and we want them to take pride in their city. And that's something that the mayor pushes too. And in that's getting in touch with us, letting us know that there are problems out there that we can come in and respond and resolve. So we're hopeful that people will pick up on this change to 301 in this transition, and we're hopeful that we can get more residents engaged with us.
Right now, I have the easy part. The phone number is 311, but if people want the app, again, one more time?
Yeah, the app is BOSS:311. You can download it free from the iPhone or Android Apple Store. And then also at BOSS301 on Twitter. We also have a web chat, and then you can go on the city's websites, www.cityofboston.gov/311, and all the services are on there.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Chris.
Niall Murphy from the Mayor's Hotline. Still to come, we'll talk with a candidate for City Council in Roxbury.